Week 10 of the fantasy basketball season, and here's a few centers I would drop this week. The first guy is DeMarcus Cousins, who just got released by the Houston Rockets this morning, and I got a video explaining the breakdown of Cousins for fantasy basketball and where I think he will land next, so go check that one out. But anyway, I talk about everything about Cousins in that video, but I'm going to talk about him once again here on the drop list. Cousins on the season, he's been ramping his activity up and playing better. On the season, he's ranked 152 with 9.6 points a game, 7.6 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1.6 threes a game, 37% from the field and 74% from the foul line. But Cousins, he's played well the last few games since Christian Wood went out with the ankle injury a couple weeks ago. But now Cousins, it's a wait-and-see approach to where he lands. And right now, I think he's going to go to one of the two LA teams in the Clippers or Lakers or the Brooklyn Nets. Those are the three options that come to mind where he's going to go. And I think he ends up with the Lakers. And if he ends up there, I don't think his playing time's going to be as much as it's been the last couple weeks with the Rockets, where he's had some good ball games filling in for Wood. February 13th at New York, 10 points, 10 rebounds. February 15th at Washington, 12.7 boards, 2 threes. And February 17th at Philly, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 4 threes. So Cousins, even if he signs in the next day or two here with the team, I think he's still going to be washed for the rest of the week here in fantasy basketball. And obviously not a player I'm going to be waiting all week to have on my roster, because if he goes to one of the contenders, his playing time's only going to be 15-20 minutes a game. And right now, I think it's safe to say to cut him loose in all 10 to 12 team leagues. The next player I'll look to cut at center this week, Steven Adams, the New Orleans Pelicans. Adams, he's been a great ball player throughout his career, but this season with his new ball club, there's been some injuries and there's been struggles. And now with the right ankle injury, he's missed the last few games. But to be honest, he wasn't having that great of a season, was Adams. 8 points a game, 8.9 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 46% from the foul line, which is awful, but a nice 60% from the field is Adams. But the last few weeks, the numbers, they've dropped even more for him, believe it or not. 6 points a game, 6 rebounds, 1.2 steals, 1.2 assists, 50% from the field and 50% from the foul line and 64% from the field for Adams. So the struggles are real for him. I don't know if he fits this Stan Van Gundy system with a lot of run and gun guys, obviously on this Pelican team, like Zion Williamson, Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, you got J.J. Redick. So there's a lot of guys there that could score, Brandon Ingram, and it's more of a run and gun system where Steven Adams is obviously more the traditional center, and he's just not fitting with this team for whatever reason this year, because it's that or whatever, he's just not comfortable yet in New Orleans. And now with the ankle injury and the uncertainty with his playing time, I think he's safe to drop in 10 and 12 team leagues, and owners, they've already dropped him off their rosters, where his ownage just dropped 3% this week. He's still owned in 79% of fantasy leagues, but I think I would drop Adams. He just hasn't produced, and the last 3 games show that as well before he went down with the injury. February 14th at Detroit, 13 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists. February 16th at Memphis, 8 points, 7 boards, 3 steals, 2 blocks. And then February 17th versus Portland, 2 points, 3 rebounds. So his replacement right now, Willie Hernan-Gomez, he's filling in well for Adams. He's getting the rebounds. He's scoring the basketball decent. And I think he fits this system better than Adams. And Hernan-Gomez, he was a recommended ad at the center position this week. So if you haven't seen that waiver wire video, go check it out. But anyway, I think Adams is droppable, even if he does come back tomorrow night versus Detroit. And the third and final center that's droppable this week's Hassan Whiteside of the Sacramento Kings. Whiteside, it's been a roller coaster ride with him this season for the Kings and fantasy owners. And on the year, he's ranked 248 as Whiteside, 8.3 points a game, 5.7 rebounds, 1.3 blocks, 54% from the foul line, and 58% from the field. But the last couple weeks, It's just been mediocre play once again for Whiteside. 7.7 points a game, 6.3 rebounds, a block a game, and an awful 40% from the field. Now the Kings, they're taking trade calls about Whiteside. And Whiteside last season, he was a great fantasy player, averaging 15.5 points a game and 13 rebounds with 3 blocks a game. But this season, he's not getting consistent playing time. Sacramento, they don't really know what they're doing over there, to be honest, with their bigs. They got a lot of bigs. They're a losing team once again this season. And Whiteside, they're looking to trade him already after they just signed him to a contract this offseason. So Whiteside, he's been dropped in 4% of fantasy leagues the last couple weeks. The numbers haven't been consistent or the playing time, and he just needs a change of scenery because last season he was fine for fantasy owners, and this year, like I said, it's been bad. The last 3 games, February 18th versus Miami, 5 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks. February 20th at Chicago, 12.7 boards, a block. And then last game, he only played 8 minutes in Milwaukee, 6 points, 6 rebounds. So it's safe to drop him until he gets traded somewhere else and see if he has a good role or not. So that's a few centers I would look to drop here in Week 10 of the fantasy basketball season.